What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Last week of the NFL season, I am joined by Cody, Nate, and Zach as we wrap up the Cover 4 podcast for this season. We're still going to have a wild card weekend show with some guest stars, hopefully, so we'll still have more content. Yeah, we're still going to have content, don't worry. But as for the regular season, we're wrapping up. We missed last week due to the holidays, but don't worry, our picks were still in. This was week 16 where the Vikings... Yeah, this was rough for Nate. The Vikings destroyed me in this week, hurt me really badly. Congrats to Zach with that. And then last week, everybody had a pretty decent week. Zach had an amazing week. Cody had a very solid week. I struggled, actually, but that leads us to this.
13-3.
The overall standings right now, Nate has a 3-game lead on me, a 5-game lead on Zach, and Cody, after a struggle start of the year, he's back at 500.
Oh, 500 now.
Yep, came all the way back to 500. I think I should lock in the all-time crown for another season here, but I'm trying to get Nate for this season, and Zach's in play too, so... These picks do matter, even though Week 18, a lot of games don't matter. But let's talk some general storylines. And I wanted to start with the Saquon Barkley resting. He's not going to be going for the rushing record. Nick Sirianni announced.
As of now,
you never know. But he is supposed to be inactive. So thoughts on that? Do you think what would you do if you were the coach? Because it's obviously a pretty prestigious record. I don't know.
I saw the interview with Saquon, and he was very humble. He's like, I understand. They want to rest me for the playoffs, and I get it. But I feel like he was also saying how he wanted to, this is his chance to cement himself in NFL legacy.
Right, that's
his family's name, man.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. So books. I don't know. It's tough because then you get hurt, and it just
you're gonna
about that the rest of your career.
The record's good and all, but I like to see him get it. But I mean,
he still got 2K.
So, but yeah,
the 2K club
situation about it's more important than to win Super Bowl.
I think if it was 30, 40 yards, he would do it. He would play. About 101.
It's 100,
whatever
right?
it is.
Yeah, but you can get that in one quarter against the Giants.
True.
Yeah. I mean,
that's true. Why you would start it?
I think it's
there was a report today that obviously Jalen Hurts has been out. He's still in the protocol, but he didn't practice. A.J. Brown didn't practice. Devonta Smith didn't practice, but Barkley was practicing today.
Really?
So I don't know. That seemed it's a little interesting.
Imagine. Yeah,
I don't know. I'm not saying he's gonna go out there and play, but I was wondering why he's practicing.
That record's pretty.
Eric Dickerson,
80s.
The 80s. Yeah.
Peterson almost broke it.
He broke it in 16 games.
Yeah.
Peterson almost broke it in 16 as well. So
the Seahawks have officially been eliminated from postseason.
Why is this a storyline?
Because for the purpose of the show, we need to talk about it. Obviously, the whole season, how many great debates that, especially Cody and I have had.
No, I care about
lots
that.
of Geno Smith protectors. He's got a lot of protectors on social media.
Yeah, we do know the show is all Seahawks.
Kyler Murray messed that up for you.
Kyler Murray peppering a ball off McBride's helmet on first and goal.
Do we think the Rams would have lost to Seattle this week, though? I mean,
yeah. Now I can only play the hypothetical game, unfortunately. But
wasn't it I saw you post something? It was all these
things I needed to win, and it did not go well because the Falcons lost, the Packers lost. It was brutal. Just a brutal weekend of football for me.
You needed 18 things to go right.
I needed at that point, when I posted that on TikTok, I needed 11, I think. And at that point, what am I doing here? Yeah. But shout out to, or congratulations to Nate and Zach, the two people on this podcast that will have playoff teams represented. The Vikings and Steelers obviously clinched.
Super Bowl.
The Cowboys, we'll see what they decide to do in the offseason.
Should we sprinkle
that? I might. I'm going to sprinkle something on the Steelers.
I acknowledge the purpose of this is I acknowledge the Seahawks. They struggled towards the end. They left some games on the table, but hey, they could still go 10-7 and not make the playoffs, which is crazy. But
they suck, dude.
We're moving on to next year. Very excited. We'll talk more eventually. Next up, though, the Bengals are alive for that final wild card spot.
Shout out T. Higgins.
Another team that we've talked about a lot on the show. Cody's, second team, maybe adopted team a little bit. They have a chance. They would need the Broncos to lose to the Chiefs backups, and they would also need the Dolphins to lose to the Jets. But I think it could happen. I'm excited for this little final wild card race. We can talk about it a little more later, but initially, how do you think, how dangerous will the Bengals truly be if they get in and go to Buffalo?
They'd be dangerous, but it's just not going to happen. The Chiefs won't allow it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're putting Carson Wentz out there for a reason, so it's not going to be allowed. Why would Mahomes want to have to go up with another elite guy like Burrow at the end of the day?
The one who beats him most of the time, too.
Yeah, I mean, it won't happen. And but honestly, Miami could win, too. So
since the Burrow head comments, I'm pretty sure, hasn't he not won?
The Chiefs are going to do everything they can to not allow that.
Yeah.
You think Patrick Mahomes is scared of Joe Burrow?
I mean,
no.
Yeah,
I saw something.
I
think I saw something on either. It was Pardon My Take, or maybe it wasn't Pardon My Take. Maybe it was their Barstool Pick'em show or something. They were just talking about basically you think Mahomes is actually scared of anybody because people were the Chiefs don't want to see the Bengals.
Well, they're a hot team right now going into the playoffs.
Right.
They've won 5 straight, so it's one of those things where you don't teams get hot at the right time. This is a team with an elite quarterback.
They've beaten the best team consistently.
Yeah, it's a team with an elite quarterback and an elite receivers going into the playoffs.
Beat Buffalo?
Yeah.
Do you think they could beat Kansas City?
Yeah.
Yes.
They can beat
anybody. It's just the defense.
Especially in playoff environment too. I mean,
because defenses can play up in the postseason, like we've seen it with Kansas City last year. Like everybody thought they looked so poorly, and then they go into the postseason and they have a top defense. It's just what happens. Like these guys play up
when the
lights come on.
The same thing happened. Defense is getting torched, then they
all of a sudden you step up when the lights get bright. So sometimes you have a culture like that.
Only got to make one play.
Mm-hmm. I think Cody, Zach, and I definitely want to see the Bengals get in.
Oh yeah,
because we have no rooting interest in the AFC.
I would love it.
Well, would you rather watch them or like the Broncos?
Exactly, and I like Bo Nix. Broncos like young team. I like a lot of guys, but come on, Bengals would be electric going to Buffalo wild card weekend, but doesn't really look like it. But speaking of the Bills, MVP home stretch here. If you had to cast your vote today, I know Josh Allen he was running away from it. Now it's a little less. It's like minus 300, I think, or something.
Yeah.
Some people really would make arguments for Lamar, and Joe Burrow they're flirting with Joe Burrow with certain
it would be him, bro. Actually, I saw
would no doubtedly be Burrow.
He has like 4,040 and under 10 picks. The only two other quarterbacks to ever do that is Brady and Rodgers in their MVP seasons.
I think I did see that stat.
So that's
because he can break 5K, right?
I
think he's at 4.
Well, I saw that stat too, Zach. Every single quarterback that's done what he's done, they've won the MVP, is what that said.
Yeah,
which is crazy. They've won the MVP that year.
Yeah.
So it's just insane that he's probably not going to win it because his defense lets up like I think 29 points per game.
So yeah, if they had a winning team, he would be the MVP.
Yeah, 100%. But I think right now it's Allen.
If the Bengals
I think it's Allen's year for sure.
If all this happens though and the Bengals get in, do you think would it change the odds significantly?
It'd be interesting.
Yeah,
but I still think Allen would win. I really do.
We'll see Jones on other shows. Our friend that came on, he thinks Lamar is MVP.
Really?
Very strong. I think he has money in that too.
Jones.
Yeah. Yeah. So interesting. I think if I had to cast my vote, I would still say Allen this year.
Yeah.
And it sounds like
it's just what he's done with what he has.
Yeah.
Like Lamar's playing with an All-Pro running back.
Right.
Josh Allen doesn't have a single All-Pro on that offense, so it just makes you think a little bit. He's kind of running the show.
Fair.
It's a fact. Steelers outlook, Nate. It hasn't been the smoothest. I think they've lost 3 straight.
4
straight. Could be 5 straight.
No.
It'll be their 4th this week if they lose, right?
It'll be their 4th.
Yeah.
So they've lost 3.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, how do you feel as the playoffs approach? Right now,
I mean, I got friends who like to, I got these guys, but I got my other guys too, and they love to always get me about the Steelers. They love to like always give me jabs here and there about shit, and it's like they're like, oh, how do you feel about the Steelers? Like they're officially like done. Like they tell me they think they're done. But what I gotta say to that is, okay, you play 3 of the top teams in 11 days. And 2 of them were without Pickens. And what receivers do we have without Pickens? Like we have nobody else.
That's true.
So I think everyone gotta like chill out with the Steelers defense is trash all of a sudden. Like I think I'll relax with that. A full week's prep now. We got Cincinnati, but again, it's not an easy challenge. The Bengals they need to get in, and their offense is like firing on all cylinders. So even if the Steelers did lose to the Bengals on Sunday, they would have officially lost 4 in a row going into the playoffs. But I'm not like that. That's not enough for me to be like, oh yeah.
They're playing Buffalo in the playoffs, right?
You know what kind of stinks about the NFL right now though? What? Is it feels like the NBA when the Warriors were like on their tear. Just like
with the Chiefs.
Or like at least in the AFC, you just know how it's gonna go.
Know.
Yeah.
Let's ask.
It's just that feeling.
Because right now the Steelers play the Texans in Houston.
Yeah.
And I think Steelers can win that game.
Nah, but if the Steelers lose, they play the Bills.
They're probably gonna play the Ravens.
No,
the Ravens, yeah.
Well, no. Our first game is either the Ravens or Texans. But yes, regardless, if they win
want to play the Ravens,
yeah. But
unless the Ravens lose to the Browns and then you win the division.
So it's gonna be Bills Broncos.
Yeah.
Or Bengals.
Bills are elected to the Bengals or the Broncos or the Dolphins, whoever it is. There's still a chance Steelers can play the Chargers, which is a little bit of a scary game, but whatever. But yeah, if Steelers were to win,
they'd play the Ravens.
We're either at Kansas City or at Buffalo, which is tough at that point. But
are the Steelers cooked?
The Force is not with you.
Yeah, not with you.
Not with you.
Not with you.
Will the Steelers win a playoff game?
I think they'll win a playoff
The
game.
future is not as forgiving as I.
Yeah, it's negative vibes for the Steelers, I think, unfortunately.
All I know is that there's been, anything can happen. Like, Steelers are the only tandem with a head coach and a quarterback that has won a Super Bowl. Like, the only other team in the playoffs is the Chiefs.
Oh, okay.
The Chiefs and Steelers are the only 2 teams.
Good stat.
With coach and quarterback?
Coach and quarterback, yeah. So
and in the AFC.
Can a washed Russ do it?
Stafford McVay.
Yes, okay. Stafford McVay.
I just don't think they have the offense to do it.
What's their ceiling, Nate? Super Bowl?
That's what I mean.
I mean, I'm always gonna take that
You're
as
talking
a,
about
as
the
a ceiling.
Steelers, bro.
I think it's a 3-team race, and if
You're
the
you're
Bengals
also talking about a defense that's elite in every level.
No, I know.
With names,
but
at least with names.
Like, you got to put up some points in the playoffs.
Hey, they put up
And we
40
put up
against
44
the
against the
Bengals.
Bengals.
No, yeah.
Yeah, but the Bengals.
Steelers
That's a
actually-
good
That's
point.
the key word.
Here's
though,
the thing.
against
The
the
Bengals
Bengals.
defense sucks.
My guy,
The
he has to
Bengals
go.
suck this year. We know
I
that.
won't be the segment until I can't. No, he has to go. But like the Steelers with Russell Wilson average 27, 28, 26 points a game, which is an upgrade of what they've had. They have a defense. They have overall a decent running game.
I'm just thinking about like
I don't know.
watching Chiefs Steelers on Christmas, and I would like.
That was
It was
that
so
brutal.
typical,
That was-
bro. Like
that
you
was
just
brutal.
know it's
But
like
that's typical
you just
Chiefs,
know they like
so.
don't have a chance the whole game.
I think personally, I think no disrespect. I think the
It's
AFC's three-team race. I think it's Chiefs, Ravens,
and-
Bills.
Yeah.
I mean, we all
Nah,
know the
Rich-
Chiefs are going to
nah.
be in the AFC Championship. It just depends like
Yeah,
who
they're
they're
gonna
playing.
they're gonna murder whoever they meet in the divisional.
I mean,
And
and then they're
honestly,
gonna
bro,
play-
if it's
If you say-
Chiefs
if you say
Ravens, the
that-
Ravens might lose by 20.
Yeah.
Chiefs, Ravens.
No.
No, Ravens.
If you say that, like
Ravens are good.
I don't know, dude.
I'd rather you not say the Ravens, just say Bills and Chiefs.
No, the Ravens are
because
good.
The Ravens don't do playoffs every year.
That
They don't.
narrative's. I mean, we had this conversation. They made the AFC Championship game. They're not.
The Ravens are.
You got, and their defense playing a lot better now.
I feel like the Ravens could beat almost anybody, but they would have a really hard time with the Chiefs probably because
I'm
they
not
already
saying I would-
manhandled the Bills.
I'm
They
not saying I would
manhandled them.
pick them. I'm just saying that you have to
Yeah.
put them in that conversation. Like we're watching the same Ravens team.
I know, but I feel like the playoffs they just don't do a lot.
We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. Number 1 seed battle. The Vikings at the Lions, Sunday Night Football, last game of the regular season.
I mean,
Winner
yeah.
gets the NFC number 1 seed. I'll obviously start with Zach, and we'll give our picks for this game
Probably
as well.
game of the year here. Hopefully,
Lions minus
hopefully we
2.5.
see a great Sunday night game. I feel like a lot of you guys were on the were you just the only one on the Packers?
No, he had his lock, Packers, Cody.
Yeah, and I feel like a lot of people had the Packers there, but the Vikings kind of showed like
They did.
what they've been about all year, and like it got better and better as the year went on. And I mean, the Packers are solid, but they kind of I don't know how that was a game at the end. It just kind of like
Yeah.
blinked, and then it was like a 3-point.
Because the weekend was all about giving me hope and then taking it
But
away.
then when
That's
it's
what
like
happened
3
every
minutes
game.
left and it's that close of a game, the Vikings have literally won every single game like that for the past 2
O'Connell's
years.
good at that.
Yeah, so
good.
it's been that was a great game. They should have won by like 10 points, but this is gonna be crazy. I don't know. I don't know what to expect. The Lions they're dominant, so
If the Vikings lose and they end up having to play the Rams, that's just so brutal for
it's
Vikings
not gonna be
fans.
good, dude.
Yeah,
It's
like
not-
the
that's
Rams are
only
so
other
tough.
team they lost to,
The
and
Rams are gonna be off rest for a
Yeah,
whole week.
no.
It's just like it's not a good like you. Yeah,
and
either team. Man.
like
If
this
the
year,
Lions
losing in
lose-
the first round would just really suck
I
because
think-
this team is so much better
Yeah.
than last year's team.
Yeah, definitely.
I think
So-
the Vikings would much rather go to Tampa.
Yeah,
than
yeah,
the
yeah. I mean,
Rams.
Tampa's really good though.
Tampa's
but yeah,
good.
definitely.
But
Tampa's got a really
much
good rush.
rather Tampa. I mean, they got to win this game.
If they win this
It's-
game, you're sitting pretty. You get a bye. You're feeling good.
Yeah, they can do it. They have everybody. They got the coaching. They got the chemistry. They got the elite talent.
So you're obviously taking Vikings plus 2.5.
Yeah.
Cody, where are you going here?
I'm taking the Lions specifically just because I love Dan Campbell and how he always gets his guys up to play. They're always ready to go, and they want to win for him. It's like they want to play for this guy.
Yeah.
They want to go all out. So
It's a
I
good
think
team.
it's a great culture there, and I think they can beat the Vikings like they did earlier in the year. So
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Lions as well. I really believe that with the Niners not in the playoffs this year, I really think the Lions know where they have to go and where they
Yeah.
how they want to get there. I think this is their first step into actually going to the Super Bowl. They
Yeah.
want the 1 seed. I think the good team that's gonna be there.
I'm gonna take the Vikings.
yeah.
So, baby.
They screwed me obviously when they played the Seahawks. That was a brutal game. Basically knocked the Seahawks out in hindsight. But in this game, I don't know. I think it's just gonna be an electric game. I think it's gonna be high
It's gonna be
scoring. I
electric.
think there's gonna be points.
Can you imagine
back
what
and
Jefferson
forth.
and Addison are going to do to the secondary
Yeah.
too?
They're gonna
Like
be
that's the other
tweaking,
thing.
bro.
They have
It's-
nobody.
Yeah.
I think like you could probably take like 5 anytime touchdown scores here because I think there's gonna be a lot of points.
Yeah.
I'm very excited for this game. I think I'm gonna take the Vikings plus 2.5. I think they win outright. I think the Minnesota Vikings are number 1 seed
Need a golf
going into
interception.
the playoffs, which would be crazy.
That's probably likely.
It has to happen.
Lesser story here. NFC South is technically still up for grabs. The Bucs just need to win and they're in, or Atlanta losing. The Falcons obviously need the Buccaneers to somehow stumble and lose to the Saints. And then if they take care of business against the Panthers, the Falcons would be your 4 seed. So that would be very interesting if somehow that broke the Falcons' way, because I'm a big Michael Penix guy, and I would love to see him in the playoff run already. I think most people want to see the Bucs. I think they think the Bucs are the better team.
Yeah,
But-
at least for this year, like
Yeah.
I'd rather see Baker.
The
in there.
Bucs are laying 14.5
Yeah.
points. Nate, you're the only one here that's taking the points with the Saints, I believe. Do you have any faith that the Saints can keep this game close and like pull off a miracle?
I mean, they're not gonna win,
No.
but I think they can. Hey, if they lose by 13, right?
Yeah, that's true.
So.
That's a cover. So you guys are all Bucks making the
Yeah,
playoffs.
but yeah.
Let's go Bucks.
Saints aren't winning that game though. No shot.
We already talked a little bit about this. This is the most interesting one. I think the final AFC wild card. Denver, very simple. You win, you're in.
Mm-hmm.
They would need the Bengals and Dolphins to both lose. So they need to take care of business. Heavily favored against the Chiefs backups. The Dolphins would need a win and just a Denver loss. And then the team we're rooting for, the Bengals, they need a win and a Broncos loss and a Miami loss. And again, I think I think Miami could very much lose this game. I think we're all on the Jets.
Yeah.
And
They're
I
not a
think
playoff team.
if the Dolphins make the playoffs, that's very depressing. No offense to Miami fans, no offense to the Dolphins, but
Tua's not even playing this week.
if the Dolphins somehow sneak in and go to Buffalo, that's awful playoff.
It's a
game.
pig slaughter.
Yeah, like Tua in the cold.
Yeah.
We've seen that too.
How many times have we seen that, bro? And I
That's
know
what I
Colton
mean.
will still find a way to take the Dolphins.
That was bad on
Yeah.
Thanksgiving. That was
brutal.
one of my worst picks of the year for sure.
That was definitely your worst pick.
Dude,
ever.
that game was square, bro. Like
That was really
a
bad.
simple square.
I think
like,
that was
everybody
one of
knows.
the few games this year that two people on the set took the Packers as their lock.
Yeah.
Like
Yep.
the same game. But you
I
and Cody
I
both.
should have
They
taken it
couldn't
too.
What is like the degree that this is an effect with him? Is it like 32 degrees or under?
Nah,
Is it like
it's probably-
38? Like
No,
how
it's probably
high?
like 45.
How high is it? Like
It's-
45 and under?
It's if you see what's his face. The
You
co-
see
I don't know
your
why I
ref? Oh,
blinked
Mike
out on
Mike.
his
If you
team.
see the turtleneck,
Yeah.
and the shiesty.
Yeah, wearing
Keep
some
that in mind
wearing
when betting.
his Dolphins hat.
basically-
and
So basically,
shit.
like depends on the wind.
You just
Yeah.
know they're gonna lose.
If it looks like he's about to go skiing, take
Yeah.
the whatever team
That's
two is
how you
playing.
know.
You know the odds makers
Those are
definitely take that into
mortgage
account.
plays. Those are mortgage
Wait, you
plays
said
in
that.
years to come.
Like Kyler Murray ever since BO6 came out, he's
Yeah.
like his record's brutal.
All right, we get to locks of the week, our signature segment.
Come
It's more of a struggle for Cody's starting to struggle a little bit. I've struggled all year with locks. I'm under 500. I will not get back to 500 this season. Overall records all time. Still, Zach now has the crown to
Let's go.
snatched it from Cody over our break there. He is 12-5 in the year, 22-12-1 all time. Nate Dogg, 10-7, still very respectable. All the all time records are respectable. All of them over 55%. But just throwing that out there. Let's get to this week's locks. Zach, you
I
lead
took
us
the
off.
Cardinals because Dobbs starting for the Niners.
Yeah.
Dobbs is starting for the Niners.
That's honestly the only reason.
He's pretty
But, like, I
brutal.
feel like the Cards should be able to win this. That I don't know. That's it. So I'm hot. I'm hot as right now. Just ride me.
Gotta go for it.
Yeah, I got the Chargers as my lock. They're minus 4.5, I believe, against
Yes.
the Raiders. And
The Raiders.
I'm gonna be honest, like the whole world knows. Maybe besides Raider Nation, but that's late. Like
That's late.
Yeah, and Herbert's gonna dismantle them.
Good.
It's gonna be
Holy
pretty
shit.
easy.
they don't want.
Didn't you
They,
take the
they don't want
Raiders?
to. The Chargers
No.
don't. They want to fall.
For my
down
lock?
in
No.
that position
No.
they'll play.
He took the Raiders as a pick, yeah. What'd you say, Nate?
The Chargers, like I'm pretty sure if they lose and Denver wins, can they?
They can't fall behind Denver. They can fall behind if Pittsburgh wins,
They can
Pittsburgh can go play Houston, and then the Chargers have to play the Ravens. So they definitely want to win this game.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Especially
Yeah.
if the Steelers.
They're not locked
Yeah.
into their. So
No,
they're
they
trying to
can
play.
still move. So
Yeah.
You guys don't want to see the Harbaugh game again?
Honestly, I
Honestly,
wouldn't
yeah.
mind
The
this.
Harbaugh
I
Bowl.
wouldn't mind seeing that if they play in first round.
Yeah, that'd be good. This week for me, week 18, I'm going to be taking I think it's minus 14.5 the
14.5,
Bucks as my
yeah.
lock. I think they can rout the Saints. Not only that, but I think Mike Evans gets his record pretty
incentives.
well. He'll
yeah.
tie Jerry Rice
Yeah.
for 11 seasons in a row, but I think he
Mhm.
gets his incentives
First
by the
ballot.
end of the first half, and then I think they'll
Yeah.
rest him in the second half.
Yeah.
Should be a blowout. So we'll
Cody,
see.
Oh, yeah.
somehow, some way, week 18 Survivor Pool alive.
Yeah,
Wow. Unbelievable.
No buybacks either, right?
11 people left.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see.
Cody, do you want me to
Yeah.
ask him if he'll win the Survivor Pool?
No,
Not about that
I'm
superstitious.
not doing that.
All right, my lock of the week
It's
is
fine.
Seahawks.
nope. Although they should murder the Rams. my
Look at
lock
his
of
big
the
ass
week
head, bro.
is
Damn,
That's your fault.
that dude's head's big, bro.
my lock of the week is the Cincinnati Bengals. They need a win, minus 2.5
Shiesty.
at Pittsburgh.
I like
I-
that.
I think the Bengals.
Bro, bro. See, bro, you woke his ass up.
Yeah,
You woke him up, and now he's
You don't
like,
like that.
I,
Pick.
oh
I
my
think the
God.
Bengals will.
Keep talking, bro.
Will the Bengals destroy the Steelers?
What is thy bidding,
Wait.
my master?
Will the Bengals destroy the Steelers?
The possibility is lukewarm.
Wow.
Okay, I'm fine with that. I'm making them my
Wow.
lock. Give me the
Lukewarm?
Bengals. I think they're obviously playing for something. They will destroy the Pittsburgh Steelers.
I just want to say that's a little far fetched there.
It's a little bit much.
It's a little much.
How about instead of fantasy's not really going on anymore. Obviously the leagues are done. We hope you won your championships. Daily fantasy still going on, but instead of fantasy players, let's just do one guy you're looking forward to watching this weekend, and one guy that could have a breakout game.
Mike Evans for me.
Yeah, Mike Evans.
Definitely, yeah. That's a big deal what he's about to accomplish.
Probably
He's going to tie Jerry
Xavier
Rice.
Legette.
One last ride with Xavier Legette.
Yeah, one last 3 of 15.
Yeah.
Nah, I'll think of a real one.
I'm gonna say Michael Penix Jr. because he missed some throws last week early in that game, but he still had a pretty good game. If Raheem Morris didn't poorly manage that clock towards the end there, maybe they went on a field goal, they get a little closer. But it is what it is. The Falcons obviously need to win, so they should be putting everything they got out there. Again, I wanted the Seahawks to draft Michael Penix. I'm excited to watch him play. I think they win, and I think he has a good day.
I'll say the Minnesota Vikings
Team.
because that's
Biggest
the game of the year. Game of the year. Hopefully,
be.
it's gonna be a.
It really
gonna
is.
be a
It's a
bad
playoff game on a
Yeah,
Sunday
that's-
night, right? It's
yeah.
literally a playoff game. So I kind of want to see
Battle
them
of the
sneak
North, Battle of the
Saquon playing,
Borders.
too. I want to see that this weekend.
I want to see
Like
that.
maybe they'll just last minute let Saquon play first half.
That'd be
Just
fun.
like
Yeah, that would
give
be
everybody
cool.
a little bit of a sweat
That
because
would
he
be
was at
Leaning
practice.
into that game a little
He was
bit.
practicing.
Whatever, I'll just keep it simple. I said the Chargers about my lock, so I'll say big game play to watch.
Lad
Herbo.
McConkey.
Not G Herbo, but J Herbo.
Oh,
Yo, what
Yeah,
about
Justin.
Lad? Yo, what about the 2 rookie receivers, bro?
Lad
McConkey and
Brian Thomas.
neighbors
And
too.
Neighbors,
Yeah, Brian Thomas.
Bro, the
Good-
whole
good
rookie
receiving
class is
class,
tough.
yeah.
so solid.
Some
I saw
bad
something on
shots.
Twitter today. It was like how many rookies are gonna from this year are gonna be in like the first 2 rounds next year of fantasy drafts.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude.
What's Brian Thomas like? Wide receiver.
Brian
rank?
Thomas,
Irving?
Malik Neighbors, Bucky Irving, like those guys could all potentially. Bucky Irving played 44%
Yeah.
of snaps this year and he had 1,600 yards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. No, Bucky.
Is that even like? Is that? I don't understand that.
What did I say about Rashad White though?
What's
Right.
Brian Thomas's
Sorry.
wide receiver
Sorry.
rank
He's
for
just not
fantasy?
efficient,
No.
What is
Next
his-
year,
Oh,
next
next
year.
year, Brian Thomas.
Where is he going?
bro. He's balling with Mac Jones right
I
now.
know. Probably a
Probably second, third round.
second
pick.
round.
Second, third round. pick.
Yeah, I saw somebody saying he goes at like the 1-2
Maybe
turn.
kind of where Nakua was, a little lower than that, I guess.
Oh,
Puka
Nakua is
and
top
Brian
5.
Thomas?
No, what Nakua coming into this year.
Yeah. No,
Like
you're right.
Brian
Yeah, that's where he
Thomas,
was. But
maybe?
I'm saying this year, like Nakua is
yeah.
probably going to be a top 5, 6
Puka
pick.
and Brian Thomas could be a fantasy duo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be tough to
Maybe.
get both of them, but maybe. All right, last overview of the week in the 2024-2025 season. Ravens Browns kick us off on Saturday. Cody and I are laying a massive, biggest number of the year with the Ravens. Zach and Nate taking the points with the Browns. All of us are on the Bengals, including me taking it as a lock, except Nate Dogg. He's on the Steelers, his team, of course. Falcons and Panthers has a split. Zach and I on the Falcons. Cowboys, Commanders, I'm going to lone wolf the Cowboys, plus 6.5, maybe save Big Mike's job. We're all on the Bears, catching 10.5 at the Packers. A little surprising there. Texans are supposed to be starting a lot of their starters. We're all on the Texans, plus 1.5 against the 2-14 against the spread Titans, which is like the worst mark ever.
Holy cow.
The Colts and Jaguars, we're all on the Jaguars. The Colts are in disarray. Mac Jones, Brian Thomas, they've been, pretty good. So we'll take the Jaguars. Patriots, Bills, Josh Allen will be coming in for 1 snap to continue his start streak, but then he's resting. Trubisky gets the reins from there. We're all on the Patriots, except Nate Dogg, who still thinks the Bills are good enough to cover 3. Eagles, Giants, Cody's lone wolf and the awful Giants against the Eagles backups. They're resting a lot of guys, but I still think the Eagles do enough to cover that. Bucks Saints, Nate Dogg, lone wolf and the Saints, the big number 14.5. Chiefs Broncos were split. Chargers and Raiders. Nate is making the Chargers his lock, and Cody is lone wolf in the Raiders. We're all on the Seahawks except Nate Dogg, who's taking them at plus 6.5. We're storming the Jets, all taking the Jets one last time with Rodgers, perhaps. Zach is locking the Cardinals at minus 4.5. Nate is lone wolfing the Niners. The rest of us are on the Cardinals. And then Sunday Night Football, last game of the year for the 1 seed, NFC North. Vikings at Lions. Lions minus 2.5. Me and Zach are on the Vikings. And Nate and Cody are on the Lions. We will see you. Next time we see you, it'll be playoff football. Hopefully the Vikings will have the 1 seed. Steelers need to show something this week for sure. And yeah, we will see you wild card week. We'll talk to you soon.
Oh, wow. I don't think I should come over.
No.